manners and his ties, and does he ever brush his hair?
He is an extremely brilliant young architect.
I beg your pardon.
Christopher Wren is an architect.
My dear young woman, I have naturally heard of Sir Christopher Wren. Of course he was an architect. He built St. Paul's. Really, you young people seem to think no one is educated but yourselves.
I meant this Wren. His name is Christopher. His parents called him that in hopes he'd be an architect. And he is, or nearly one, so it turned out all right.
Seems a fishy story to me. I'd make some inquiries about it if I were you. What do you know?
Just as much as I know about you, Mrs. Boyle, which is that you are both paying us 7 guineas a week. That's all I really need to know, isn't it? And all that concerns me. It doesn't matter to me whether I like my guests or whether I don't.
You are young and inexperienced and should listen to someone more knowledgeable than yourself. What about this foreigner?
What about him?
You weren't expecting him, were you?
Turn away a bona fide traveller is against the law, Mrs. Boyle. You should know that.
What makes you say that?
Aren't you a magistrate sitting on the bench, Mrs. Boyle?
Well, in any case, this Mr. Matinee, or whatever he calls himself, seems to me.
Beware, dear lady. You talk to the devil and here he is.
Oh, I didn't hear you come in.
I came in on tiptoe, like this. No one can hear them if I do not want them to. I find that very amusing.
Indeed.
Now, there is a young lady.
Well, I must get on with my letters. I'll see if it's a bit warmer in the drawing room.
My charming hostess looks upset. What is it, my dear lady?
Afraid everything's rather difficult this morning because of the snow.
Yes, snow makes things difficult, does it not? Or else, it makes them easy. Yes, very easy.
I don't know what you mean.
There's quite a lot you do not know. For one thing, I think you do not know very much about running a guest house.
I dare say we don't, but we mean to make a go of it.
Oh, bravo! Bravo!
No, I'm not such a very bad cook.
You are without doubt an enchanting cook. May I give you a little word of warning, Mrs. Ralston? You and your husband mustn't be too thrusting. Have you references with these guests of yours?
Was that usual? I always thought people just came.
It is advisable to know at least a little about the people who sleep under your roof. Take, for example, myself. I turn up saying, my car has overturned in a snowdrift. What do you know me? Nothing at all. I may be a thief, a robber, a fugitive from justice, a madman, even a murderer. You see? And perhaps you know just as little as your other guests.
Well, as far as Mrs. Boyle.
The drawing room is far too cold to sit in. I shall write my letters in here.
Allow me to poke the fire for you.
Excuse me, Miss Ralston. Is her husband about? I'm afraid the pipes of the downstairs cloakroom are frozen.
Dear, what an awful day. First the police and
Police!
Police, did you say?
yes, they rang up just now to say they're sending a sergeant out here. But I don't think he'll ever get here.
The ruddy cook's more than half stones, and the price. Hello, is anything the matter?
The police are on their way here. Why?
Oh, that's all right. No one will get here today. Why, the roads are all banked up.
Are you Mr. Ralston?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Detective Sergeant Trotter, Berkshire Police. Can I get these skis off and stow them somewhere?
Go around that way to the front door and I'll meet you.
Thank you, sir.
I suppose that's what we pay our police force for nowadays, to go about enjoying themselves at winter sports.
But why did you call for the police, Mrs. Ralston?
I didn't.
Who's that man? Where did he come from? He passed the dining room window on skis. Although it's still looking terribly hearty.
You may believe it or not, but that man is a policeman. A policeman. Skiing.
This is Detective Sergeant Trotter.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you can't be a sergeant. You're too young.
Oh, I'm not quite as young as I look, ma'am. But terribly hearty.
We'll stow your skis away under the back stairs.
Excuse me, Miss Ralston. May I use your telephone?
Yes, of course, Lieutenant.
He's very attractive, isn't he? I always think that policemen are very attractive.
No brains. You can see that at a glance.
Hello? Hello? Miss Ralston, the telephone is dead. Quite dead.
Well, it was all right about half an hour ago.
Line's gone with the weight of the snow, I suppose.
So now we're cut off. Oh, quite cut off. That's funny, isn't it?
I don't see anything to laugh at.
No, indeed.
Oh, that's a private joke of my own. The sleuth is returning.
Now we can get down to business. Mr. Ralston, Mrs. Ralston.
Would you like to see us alone? If so, we can go into the library.
It's not necessary, sir. It'll save time if everyone's here. Now, if I might sit at this table.
Yes, Giles.
Thank you.
You hurry up and tell us, Sergeant. What have you done?
Done? Oh, it's nothing of that sort, madam. It's actually something quite different. It's more a matter of police protection, if you understand me.
Police protection.
It relates to the death of Mrs. Lyne, Mrs. Maureen Lyne of 24 Culver Street, London, West 2. She was murdered yesterday, the 15th instant. You may have heard or read about the case.
Yes, I heard about it on the wireless. The woman who was strangled.
That's right, ma'am. Now, the first thing I want to know is if any of you were acquainted with this Mrs. Lyne.
Never heard of her.
You may have known of her under the name of Lyne. Lyne wasn't her real name. She had a police record and her fingerprints were on file, so we were able to identify her without difficulty. Her name was Maureen Stanning. Her husband was a farmer, John Stanning, who resided at Longridge Farm, not very far from here.
Longridge Farm? Wasn't that where those children
Yes, the Longridge Farm case.
3 children.
That's right, miss. The Corrigans. 2 boys and a girl. Brought before the court in need of care and protection. A home was found for them with Mr. and Mrs. Stanning at Longridge Farm. One of the children subsequently died of persistent ill treatment and criminal neglect. The case made a bit of a sensation at the time.
It's horrible.
The Stannings were sentenced to terms of imprisonment. Stanning died in prison. Mrs. Stanning was duly released, and as I say, she was found strangled yesterday at 24 Culver Street.
Who did it?
I'm coming to that, madam. A notebook was picked up near the scene of the crime. In that notebook was written 2 addresses. The first was 24 Culver Street. The second was Monkswell Manor.
What?
Yes, sir. That's why Superintendent Hogbin, on receiving this information from Scotland Yard, thought it imperative to send me out here to find out if you knew of any connection between the business at Longridge Farm and this household.
There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It must be a coincidence.
Superintendent Hogbin doesn't think it a coincidence, sir. He'd have come himself if it were in any way possible, but under the weather conditions and as I can ski, he sent me with instructions to get full particulars of everyone in this household, to report back to him by telephone, and to take what means I thought fit necessary to ensure the safety of this household.
Safety? What danger does he think we're in? Surely he's not suggesting that somebody is going to be killed here.
I don't want to frighten any of the ladies, but frankly, yes, that was the idea.
But why?
Well, that's what I've got to find out from you.
But the whole thing's crazy.
Yes, it's because it's crazy that it's dangerous.
Nonsense. I must say it seems a bit far-fetched.
I think it's wonderful.
It's something you haven't told us, Sergeant.
Yes. Below the 2 addresses was written the words 3 blind mice, and on the dead woman's body was a paper. This is the first written on it. Below that was a bar of music and a picture of 3 little mice. The bar of music was to the tune of the nursery rhyme, 3 blind mice. You all know how it goes. 3 blind mice,
3 blind mice, see how they run. They hurry after the fox wife. It's horrible.
There were 3 children and 1 died.
Yes, the youngest, a boy of 11.
What happened to the other 2?
The elder boy would now be about 22. Deserted from the army and has not been heard of since. The sister was adopted. We haven't been able to trace her present whereabouts. According to the army psychologist, the boy was a schizophrenic. A bit queer in the head, that's to say.
And they think it was he who killed Mrs. Lyne, Mrs. Stanning,
Yes.
and that he will turn up here and try and kill one of us, but why?
Well, that's what I've got to find out from you. As the superintendent sees it, there must be some connection. Now, you state, sir, that you have no connection with the business at Longridge Farm.
No.
And the same goes for you, madam?
I know, I mean, no connection.
What about servants?
We haven't got any servants, so that reminds me, Sergeant Trotter. Would you mind if I went to the kitchen? I'll be there if you want.
That's quite all right. Now, if I might get all your names, please.
This is ridiculous. We are merely staying in a kind of hotel. We have nothing to do with this place.
You booked your room ahead of time, though. You all plan to stay here ahead of time?
Well, yes. All except Mr.
Paravicini. My car overturned in a snowdrift.
I see. What I'm getting at is that anyone who's been following you around might know very well that you are coming here. Now, there's just one thing I want to know, and I want to know it quick. Which one of you is it that has any business at Longridge Farm? You're not being very sensible, you know. One of you is in danger. Deadly danger. I've got to know which one that is. All right, I'll ask you one by one. You first, since you seem to arrive here more or less by accident, Mr. Paravicini.
Paravicini. But, my dear Inspector, I know nothing of what you are talking about. I'm a mere stranger in this country. I know nothing of these local affairs of bygone years.
Mrs.
Boyle. Really, I don't see. I consider it quite an impertinence why I should even be discussed in this such distressing business.
Miss.
Casewell. Leslie Casewell. I never heard of Longridge Farm and I know nothing about it.
And you?
Metcalf, Major. I read about the case in the papers at the time. I was stationed in Edinburgh then. No personal knowledge.
And you, sir?
Christopher Wren. I was a mere child at the time, and I don't even remember hearing about it.
And that's all you have to say? Any of you? Well, if one of you gets murdered, you'll have yourselves to blame. Now then, if I might get a tour of the house, please.
Walk right this way.
My dears, how melodramatic. He's very attractive, isn't he? I do admire the police. Always so stern and hard-boiled. Quite a thrill, this whole business. Three blind mice. How does the tune go?
Oh, really, Mr. Wren?
Don't you like it? But it's a signature tune. The signature of a murderer. Just fancy what a kick he must be getting out of it.
Melodramatic rubbish. I don't believe a word of it.
But just wait, Mrs. Boyle. Till I creep up behind you, feel my hands around your throat.
Stop! That'll do, Christopher. It's a poor joke anyway. In fact, it's not a joke at all.
Oh, what it is. That's just what it is. A madman's joke. That's what makes it so deliciously macabre. If you could only see your faces.
A singularly ill-mannered and neurotic young man.
Where's Giles?
Taking our policeman on a conducted tour of the house.
Your friend, the architect, is acting in a most abnormal manner.
Young fellows seem nervy nowadays. Dare say he'll grow out of it.
Nerves? I have no patience for people with nerves. I haven't got any nerves.
No. Perhaps it's just as well for you, Mrs. Boyle.
What do you mean?
I think you were one of the magistrates sitting on the bench at the time. In fact, you were responsible for sending those 3 children to Longridge Farm.
Really, Major Metcalf, I can hardly be held responsible. The farm people were very nice. We had paperwork from the welfare workers. They were most anxious to have the children. It seemed most satisfactory. Fresh eggs, milk, a healthy outdoors life.
Kicks, blows, starvations, and a thoroughly vicious couple.
Well, how was I supposed to know? They were very civilly spoken.
Yes, I was right. It was you.
One tries to do a public duty and all one gets is abuse.
You must forgive me. I find this all most amusing. I enjoy myself greatly.
I never did like that man.
Where did he come from last night?
I don't know.
Looks a bit of a spiv to me. Makes his face up too rouge and powdered. Disgusting. He must be quite old too.
Skips about as though he were quite young.
You'll be wanting more wood. I'll get it.
Where did I leave my pen?
What a little tune that is.
Don't you like it? Reminds you of your childhood. Perhaps an unhappy childhood?
I was very happy as a child.
We were lucky.
Weren't you happy?
No.
I'm sorry.
But all that's a long time ago. One gets over things. I suppose so. Or doesn't one? Damned hard to say.
They say what happens to you when you're a child matters more than anything else.
They say. They say. Who says?
Psychologists.
All humbug. Just a damned lot of nonsense. I've no use for psychologists and psychiatrists.
I've never had much to do with them.
A good thing for you haven't. It's all a lot of hooey, the whole thing. Life's what you make of it. Go straight ahead and don't look back.
Is that really the right way? I wonder. Maybe it's all wrong. Perhaps one really ought to face them.
Depends what you're talking about.
Sometimes I hardly know what I'm talking about.
Nothing from the past is going to affect me. Except in the way I want it to.
Well, everything seems to be all right upstairs. Kitchen? What's in here? Drawing room?
Would you mind shutting that door? This place is full of drafts.
Sorry, madam, I've got to get a lay of the land. Well, nothing suspicious. I think I'll make my report to Superintendent Hogwin now.
But you can't telephone, the line's down.
What? Since when?
Major Metcalf tried it just after you arrived.
It was all right earlier. Superintendent Hogwin got through all right.
Yes, I suppose since then the line's down with the snow.
I wonder. It may have been cut.
Cut? But who could cut it?
Mr. Ralston, just how much do you know about these people who are staying in your guest house?
We don't really know anything about it.
Ah,
Mrs. Boyle wrote from a Bournemouth hotel. Major Metcalf from an address in, where was it?
Leamington.
Wren wrote from Hampstead. And the Casewell-Sydney from a private hotel in Kensington. Paravicini, as we told you, turned up out of the blue last night. Still, I suppose they've all got ration books, that sort of thing.
and I shall go into all that, of course, but there's not much reliance to be placed on that sort of evidence.
But even if this maniac were trying to get here and kill us all, one of us, we're quite safe now because of the snow. No one can get here till it melts.
Unless he's here already.
Here already.
Why not? All these people arrived here yesterday. Plenty of time after the murder of Mrs. Stanley.
Yes, but all except for Paravicini, they'd all booked beforehand.
Why not? These crimes were planned.
Crimes? There's only been one crime, in Culver Street. Why are you sure there'll be another here?
That it will happen here? No, I hope to prevent that. That it will be attempted? Yes.
I can't believe it. It's so fantastic.
It's not fantastic, it's just facts.
You've got a description of what this man looked like in London?
Medium height, intermediate build, darkish overcoat, soft felt hat, face hidden by a muffler. There are 3 darkish overcoats in your hall right now. One of them is yours, Mr. Ralston.
I still can't believe it.
There are 3 soft felt hats. And it's this telephone wire that worries me. It's been cut.
I must get on with the vegetables.
Is there an extension?
I beg your pardon, did you say something?
Yes, Mr. Ralston. I said, is there an extension?
Yes, up in our bedroom.
Go there and try it for me, will you?
Oh, who left this window open?
To understand what I may term the mechanics of fear, you have to study the precise effect produced on the human mind. Imagine, for instance, that you are alone in a room. It is late in the afternoon. A door opens softly behind you.
Oh, it's you. I can't find any program worth listening to.